Test. There we go. Test. Mm. All right, here we go. We are doing a speed run of organic system plan renewals. I'm trying to fill out my organic system plan certification for uh, certification application for 2026. And I work with the Organic Crop Improvement Association. So they have an online and paper applications, but I like to use the online one. And I have everything filled out from last year. They save all of the information, but there are a few new questions I see, and I have to input new data. So the other factor is I am working with an application from my farm that has had the main operator um, is no longer with us. So I'm taking over the operation and gonna look over everything to see if there's anything that I need to change. Oh, now, here we go. So start with the certification application. And I've already gone through this. This is where you fill out your programs requested. So the basic one is the organic regulation for the United States National Organic Program. If I was going to do any marketing to other countries, I check some equivalencies or other country programs, but I'm pretty simple. And also, I'm not certifying livestock, wild harvesting, or handling at this time, although I'm thinking about getting into handling. The next thing is the operator license agreement, which is your contract with the company. And I will finish that at the end. Look at the activities checklist. It says a module system. They have a C1 crops 1. My farm is Stevens Land and Cattle, and we'll make this today's date, and we're doing a speed run because the application is due tomorrow. And if I don't get it done, then there could be late fees and there could be a non-compliance. And that is because I wouldn't have notified the company, the certifier, that I'm not renewing. But it's pretty simple, and we will get it all renewed tonight. So I just breezed through that one. Um, the activities checklist is the things that I do regularly. Yeah, go back into that. So I am requesting crops, not wild crops at this time, but it's all included in the same application. And I manage the crops. I don't do any mushrooms that are not wild harvested. And I use compost and uh, manure. Well, the word compost is very technical in the organic regulation. So I technically don't do compost according to the regulation. I do manure, but I work with another certification called Biodynamic that, yes, you can call it compost. But okay, I plant seeds, don't do seedlings or planting stock, and I have fertilizers, pest disease control products on farm. You'll see there might be a couple things from off farm. So I don't do any of these other things. And the way this certifier works, it is, uh, oh, it is automatic with the check boxes. So these questions for these parts of the checklist will not show up later. That's nice. So that one's done. We're on our way. Okay, module 2. This is a big one because it's the crop production overview and it's the crops I'm requesting for certification in 2026. And it's where I will show all of my fields, the crops, and the yield estimates that I'm going to do. And my particular farm, it could be pretty simple because it's a grain farm, but the way it's set up, we farm each terrace separately, and that means each of those is a unique field so that we can show our crop rotation. So, a terrace is a curved part of the landscape that helps erosion, wind erosion. So, to fill this one out, I have my own field history spreadsheet that I've worked on for the year. And fortunately, my farm is pretty simple. In the last year, we only planted one type of winter wheat. Sometimes we plant two. And I'm just going to graze most of the land. We have a little bit of alfalfa land, but otherwise, it's just data entry and making sure I get the field IDs right. Total owned acres is 880. Technically, I personally don't own it, but the farm does. And even though it's under a mortgage right now, it's still considered owned acres for our purposes. And you might have some other technical interpretations you want to do. You might get confused about, like, how do I classify this? Okay, I don't have rented acres, even though I pay a couple of the landowners rent because you want it to all total the same amount. Like if I added 880 here, then that would double up acres. Hello. Let's see what this question is in the chat here. Dryland alfalfa, not irrigated. Yeah, the alfalfa is dryland, not irrigated on our farm. True. So that'll come up later in the application. There'll be some questions about if I use water for irrigation, and I'll mark not applicable. So it will remove some questions for me. And it's all organic. I don't have any transitioning to organic. I don't have any not organic. And technically the farm has managed everything. So that's kind of a new wording compared to what I'm familiar with. But no, it's not a crop share. It's Stevens Land and Cattle at this time. But I have a creative way to maybe work with neighbors next year or in the coming year. And then this, okay, we don't have crop, crops grown or pasture on 40.17 acres. That is like draws, right of way, roadsides, like ditches, and the farmstead, and maybe some areas that we call biodiversity reserve, where we leave the crop through flowering permanently for wildlife. That's part of the biodynamics requirements. And here's what it is. So, yeah. And oh, yeah, we have a ply lake. And one more thing here is a buffer strip or grass strips. We call them grass strips that act as a buffer. We don't harvest those. And yes, the farm has been managed 3 years by the same entity, and we're not trying to ship anything to other countries. Not applicable. Be sure and mark anything not applicable when it's not applicable, otherwise there will be an error. And you won't be able to proceed. So, all right, here we go with the crops requested table. And this is where I have to refer to my spreadsheet, which is on another screen. And I'll just summarize in this table what we're requesting. So I can see my numbering is that we planted field 4C through 4F2 to turkey red. 4C. Oh, wait. 4B1. We have some designations like 1 at the end because it's a terrace channel, and for F2, the 2 is the back side of the terrace channel. So not only do we farm every terrace separately, but the back sides and the bottoms of the terraces too. That's a technical thing that I haven't seen many other farmers do that. Okay, now the total acres is 48.2, and this is 48.5. Maybe not exactly what we're farming, because we just went with our estimate when we filled out the application originally, and we don't remeasure every year. But if we did a major difference in how we plant the fields, we would want to change that and make it a permanent change. And we typically get maybe 20 bushels to the acre. It might be estimated high, but might be better to estimate high, reasonably higher. And we used to grow snow white, hard white winter wheat, but nothing is planted in the last year. We had crop failure last year, and I didn't get it to get the seedbed prepared. Alfalfa acres should be the same, and half a ton per acre, probably about right. 38.9 acres. Yep. What's going to be a little bit different is the pasture 752.4. 752.4. And the field IDs. So we've got spray drift. Let's see. Spray drift area. 1A, 1A1. Oh, yeah. All of 1 except for, okay, B terrace. That's all going to be the same. 4 is going to be different. Well, I have to fill in 3. Last year it was wheat, and now it's all going to be grazed until the fall when I work it for wheat. So then there might be 4A1 and 4A2 are also pasture. All of 5, 6, 7, and 8 are permanently pasture, native pasture. And we aren't paying anything off the pastures. It's just grazed. So they don't have a requirement yet that we have to measure the forage. I'm not certifying the livestock, so we don't have to calculate that at all. But it could be something down the road that I do as I get more into cattle stuff. Here's a new question. Carry over crop summary. Organic certification must be maintained for any crops from a previous year, certification year, for the crops to be eligible for organic sale. If switching certifiers to OCI, which we are not, be prepared to show documentation to show the crops are currently certified organic. So this is a bit different from how they've done things in the past. There's been a whole module in the past to answer this question. So now I'm going to have to go into my sales documents or inventory documents. And I have quite a bit of inventory right now. Little things. So okay, we are done with the field history and see. Okay, we're gonna just fill in the basics. Turkey red, hard red, winter, wheat. Year produced, we'll say 2025. I have a little bit left from that. It's grain. We'll wait on that. I usually use bushels. Yes. And I'm going to want to list snow white, hard red, white, winter, wheat. This was 2024. Grain, bushel. Yes. And I might have a Milo that I still want to certify, and cane seed. Listed my own. I do have hay, but I don't sell it, so I don't need it to be on the certificate. Okay, inventory left. So as of today, let's see if I have. Oh, I can do white Milo. And we'll call it. Yeah. This was from 2020. I think it's still good. Hopefully I can plant some again and make it better. Make it grow it out. I've had some crop failures. Okay, there's 14 pounds left. And then early sumac forage sorghum. What year was this? 2019. Okay. Wait, did I plant it all? Aw, that's too bad. Okay, I guess I can't list it. Well, I do have some from another guy. Um, so I can still save the seed, but I have to put that in another part of the application because I didn't grow it myself. Okay, now here's where we get trying to add up all my turkey red inventory. Okay. Do a side calculation here. Oh, I might need to do different lines. Let's see. So we've got 2023. Yeah, I should just copy. Well, let's make it the same. Okay. 180. And we've got 2024. There's 78.5. And wait, is that right? 78.5. And then 48.5. 40. Ooh, I'm jumping around here, but um, bushels of snow white. Okay. Plus 117.67. Okay. Here's 2024. Now, oh, I still have 2022. Mm, and I need to do 25. Wait, I still have 2016 wheat. Yeah, that's probably not in such good condition, but that wheat is gonna have to be cleaned out eventually. Oh, that one will be the last entry that I can do. Interesting. Mm. Yeah, a lot of this is going to be chicken feed. And there's not maybe an easy market for really old wheat like this after even a year. It's pretty hard to market. Okay, 22. Sure. Yes. Now we do 25. And that is 29. Right. Okay, there we go. And okay, these are rules that I have already filled out. Oh no, I better have saved my information. Okay, good. Oh, for renewing operations or any fields under your management for 3 or more years being requested for certification for the first time. No, they're all old fields. So as we go through this, you should pick up that a lot of these questions are you can answer a lot of these questions automatically after you get used to application. What's hard is interpreting them for the first time. It's hard to interpret questions for the first time. What do they mean by that exactly? So we did that one now. See, last edited. Oh, it says says tomorrow. Oops. Well, that's okay. Um, Next we'll do natural resource management practices, and this one makes me Wonder how much overlap we can do with NRCS programs. I'm going to pursue more of those since we have the regenerative pilot program this year, and maybe there'll be more opportunities for people already doing organic practices that fit in with the funding from the government. Okay, here we go. So, how do we conserve soil, improve soil condition and prevent soil erosion so the fields are prepared for planting with mulchers, haying, grazing animals, and tillage equipment? For corn, seedbed preparation is typically April and May. For wheat, it is August to September. Tillage equipment, chisel, sweep, disc, rod weeder, etc., is selected to initially leave clods on the soil surface rather than tilling for a powdery field with no soil structure left, which can be more susceptible to wind and water erosion. We also hay and or rotationally graze. That's We also hay and or rotationally graze cropland to reduce tillage and increase the time residue is left on the soil surface. Mulchers are used when plants are growing that are unpalatable to livestock, so unsuitable for haying. And I can add something at the beginning here. So, um, we intentionally leave um, wild plants growing in fields for biodiversity reserve through flowering to meet at least 10% of our land every year to meet the biodynamic requirement. Uh, fits in here too. Good enough. And we have this 1 acre ply lake in field 4 is the only part of the farm where groundwater could potentially be contaminated. Um, Ply lakes are groundwater recharge sources. This part of the farm is rarely tilled or planted into because it can hold water and drown out crops. It may be tilled and planted to keep invasive plants from growing. Animals may graze the ply area, but they do not over-apply fertilizer. So at this time it's accurate, but I may apply for some program to protect the playa under NRCS, and this may change in the middle of the season. But it's accurate for now, so we're going with it. Conserve water. We do not irrigate. We conserve moisture from rain and snow by maintaining terraces, leaving crop residue in fields over winter, mulching and growing crops for a canopy that shades the soil to reduce evapotranspiration. Okay, conserving biodiversity. This is like above, but more in depth. Soil organisms, pollinators, natural enemies of pests, predators, native habitat, vegetation, and wildlife. Native grass pastures, field IDs 6, 7, and 8, are not farmed, but we let cattle and horses graze the pastures. Aside from the native grass pastures, we leave wild bushes, trees, and some pasture plants, in spots in our fields. We keep a spreadsheet with all of the land that is permanently biodiversity reserve, or crops that are allowed to grow through flowering, such as alfalfa and clover. For oh, that's old. I didn't. Uh, those died. Trees died. I do still want to plant more trees, but that's not And we keep a track of field activities on a calendar. And additionally, our fields can be wild cover crops over 2 winters. We do not purchase seed for use as cover crops. For example, wheat harvest in the summer of 2027 would have residue left stand. Plants would grow from the wild seed bank that fall and be left stand for snow catching in the winter of 2017. Then the field may be left stand for all of 2018 and planted to wheat in the fall of 2019 to be harvested in the summer of 2020. This practice is shown on the field history spreadsheet as field and fallow for 2 crop years. We're done with that. I don't see anything to change. It's all current now. And oh, here's where they show the for sure things that I need to change. Oh, they do still have the C19. I thought might have gotten replaced because they still have that. They have that new question on the C2. Okay. But we will continue on to prevention of commingling and contamination. Commingling is mixing organic and non-organic. Contamination is when an organic crop comes into contact with a prohibited material. We don't irrigate. See what happens when I check yes. All these questions come up, but we don't irrigate. Okay. Do we store any prohibited materials on farm? No. Okay. Here's where we have some new rules in the last year that were quite confusing for a lot of people, but I think we got it down now. So, do we own rent contracting equipment? It's also used for non-organic production. Okay, we purchased that combine. We have used. We sometimes share our comment with an organic neighbor, and we keep a clean down affidavit. Combines are from others. With combines, we do this just as a general practice because rotten grain in a combine is bad for the combine. So they're vacuumed, swept, and air blown, and they may be washed with water prior to use on our fields with clean down affidavits kept. Gosh. Okay. All other equipment is dedicated organic, owned by the farm, with clean down affidavits kept. Owned equipment that we use includes a John Deere 90 650 Lean 5 and C2 and 2 international trucks, 2 Ford trucks, and a GMC truck with blown engine, but that sometimes holds grain. Do you use the service of custom applicators for pesticides, fertilizers, other operators, or harvesters? Yes. Oh, right, we still have a tractor we're borrowing. John Deere 8260R tractor from family. Operate the equipment and make clean down notes. When the equipment comes to Stephen Glenn and Cattle, borrowed equipment have been cleaned with air, vacuums, and water with clean downs documented. Records for clean down can be found in prior years if equipment remains borrowed more than 1 year. Does anyone else assist in your farming operation other than those listed as contacts or listed above as custom harvesters, applicators? Examples might be extended family members, hired labor, consultants, contract growers, other landowners or renters, etc. Yes, sometimes custom trucking services are used. Plus, we have been working with our organic neighbor, Joe Bindrup. That's current right now, but it might change shortly. I'm trying to get more people to help me. So I'll just update the plan when that happens. Okay, if any equipment or containers shared with non-organic products, describe how you prevent commingling and contamination. Borrowed equipment is clean and documented. Owned equipment and containers are dedicated organic. Okay. Or cleaned if shared with other operators. Is your equipment maintained so that fuel, oil, and hydraulic fluid do not leak? Yes. If there is a mixed or parallel production in your operation, or any conventional genetically modified GMO crops produced, not applicable. We don't do it. If they are, no, none produced. Okay. Please indicate the containers, equipment, and vehicles used to transport products harvested from the field and describe the destination. 2 IH trucks and 2 Ford trucks owned to transport bulk grain around the farm. Hay is hauled with on-farm owned equipment. No hay is sold. Buyers arrange transportation for grain sales, which can be themselves through third-party transportation or with Stevens Land and Cattle, making bag deliveries. See the post-harvest handling for transportation information about bagged grain crops. Some years we have borrowed a truck from a non-organic farmer to sell wheat. I don't know if we're going to do that this year. That was Vinny, and he's, I don't know, maybe. Okay. If any vehicle is shared with non-organic products, describe how you prevent commingling and contamination. We complete clean truck notes for third-party vehicles that are hauling bulk grain to show that transportation has been inspected and or cleaned. Cleaning materials are water, vacuum, sleeping, and compressed air. That's just as applicable. Check your crop product storage practices. Store own product on-site, farm or production facility. Okay, here's where we list our storage. So, is it current? What is going on? Okay. Stop. Must be something touching my trackpad. Okay. Yeah, stop. Maybe I have to take off this mouse. Okay. All storage is designated organic. Pest control. We use a gallon of diatomaceous earth applied outside of steel grain bins to deter insects from entering the bins during the summer when insect pressure is most intense for stored wheat. We perform preventative practices to reduce the dependence on diatomaceous earth. This is a biodynamic thing because it's restricted. Because diatomaceous earth can hurt beneficial insects. Bins are inspected for leaks and sealed prior to filling with grain. The areas around bins are mowed. Grain plants harvested at optimum dryness for storage or dried with fans, which can help mitigate insect pressure. Cold air is blown in the bins to kill in the winter to kill insects. And we use cedar blocks cut from on-farm trees and purchased sticky traps in the Quonset to deter or catch flying insects. We clean wheat and feed screenings with insect damage to on-farm poultry that are not requested for certification. I'm just going to say livestock because I don't have any chickens right now. Not, uh, we haven't put any treated wood in the ground. There are already installed treated posts from before we certified. Okay, if you do, then you have to have a buffer around it or do a transition. Okay, new fraud prevention plan. Let's see if there's any new questions. No new questions, so it's probably okay. Those are some of the new things last year that really made things complicated for some people. But now that it's been a year, if nothing's changed, then I shouldn't have to change. Okay, we gotta speed things up here. We're already about an hour, and we're almost half done. Okay, joining land use. Am I familiar with the neighbors? Yes. Do I have buffers? Yes. I have grass trail roads, ditches. 2 grass trail roads are on the south side of Field 1 and the west side of Field 5. Correct. South side of Field 1 had drift damage in 2020. Correct. Marked with steel posts at 270 feet into the property. I'm going to say something different. Hopefully we don't have issues with that neighbor again. Okay. Sometimes we harvest the buffers, but we have quite a big grass strip too. We don't hay. Okay. Oh, we have talked to our neighbors about farming practices, notifying them that we do not want pesticides contamination on our land. We have listing for our farms on Drift Watch to notify sprayers, and we have no spray signs. Okay. I guess I could mark that. I'll just see if it's checked. Okay, that's okay. That's how we have in some years gotten the organic cost share. I don't know if it's still around. Okay, soil management and crop rotation. What do we do? All those things, plus biodynamic preparations. And what we grow, correct. No change. I'm I'm gonna do this, but I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it yet. Can't check it. Okay. Okay. Good. No changes. I'm updating all these, so people are gonna have to look at them and see if there's changes. Ha! Make people work. Okay. Do you apply uncomposted animal manure? We say yes, and we have to say they're conventional because we didn't officially certify them since 2010, I think it was, when the organic rules for livestock came out. Mm. Okay. Let's see. We're ready for an intermission here. Be right back. And we're back. Okay. So, okay. We have um, this technical way that we're describing our manure because the compost rules require monitoring. And I have thought about getting into making compost and actually selling it as part of the biodynamic um, standards. They encourage people to make their own fertilizers and sell commercial compost. So, but once again, I haven't done it yet, so I'm not going to put it in there. Okay, this is a long thing. Let me read this. Animals with manure under the farm's management are beef, cattle, and horses. We built fence around our entire cropland to rotationally graze cattle and horses. We track rotational grazing on a calendar and a spreadsheet. These ruminants have manure that accumulates near feeding areas and corrals in the winter. The manure is piled next to catchment ditch and holding pond to prevent point source pollution. Pile has biodynamic preparations added. It is aged for a year before being applied to fields. We have small flocks of poultry and waterfowl that roam the farmyard and their litter is not included in the field fertility plan at this time. I do have one bison, but we will leave her in the mix, like hidden, I guess. I don't have this right now, too. Sadly, I don't have any ducks or chickens. Hey, I do have their manure though in the chicken house, but I need to clean out the chicken house. So someday, another one of those someday things. Okay, doing good. We're on number 7 of 19, but no, there's not actually 19 that I have to fill out. Okay. Eight. Pest, disease, and weed management. So we do all those things. Doesn't look like anything changed. Major problems? Not really. I guess we do have mouse thistle. Bindweed. Yeah, I should say bindweed because I want to really focus on it. I don't say it's a problem really because it's under control, but it is a noxious weed. And I could say joint grass because I'm always trying to watch for the noxious weeds that are illegal. Okay. No. Mm. Add to this. Looking at my project there. I don't have a lot yet. The joint grass, I guess I could say something there. We are trying to, or I am trying to get rid of it by cleaning wheat seed. Okay. Now we're at seeds. So for this year, I didn't plant any white wheat, so I'm gonna take it off. I do still have an inventory of that and other things. Oh, here they have a new question. I shouldn't. Okay, wait. I should just save, copy, down. There. Okay, just refresh and it's still there. Copy, paste, cut, paste. Oops. There. Cut, paste. Yes. Untreated. On farm. None. Now I can get rid of that. And then still have white mother and all the same stuff. Um, oh, Lithuania, and that comes from Botswana. 510898. It came from the U.S. Seed Bank. Got it from a friend who used to work for Experiment Station. It started out as 100 seeds, and I got it to 1 bucket, and I think it's still good. It was the one that did really well, open pollinated. We use internet searches. This company, fortunately, does not exist anymore. Our future plans are to grow and save all of our own seed, and we keep track on a spreadsheet. Someday I want to be able to make a product out of the roses that are on the farm here, or the plums, because they're really good. Maybe even choke cherries and buffalo currants. And there's herbs and pastures too that are really powerful. That would be like wild harvesting. Not getting into it right now though, for sale. Alright. Now we're in post-harvest handling. This is where I do bagging of grain. I was doing some of that today, where I just run it through a little seed cleaner and then I pick out any little things here and there, put it in a bag, scale it, put a label on it. Otherwise, we put it in a grain truck. Nothing's really changed there. On farm, I don't do any other label stuff. And I use Dr. Bronner soap if I need to on the food contact surfaces and wash it away with water. Might need to take a break in a minute here. Yep, I gotta take a break. Okay, short break. Back. We do have those problems. Not so much pigeons anymore. Wonder why. There's some kind of black beetle that is invaded in the wood in my Quonset. And so I want to just remove all the grain from in there someday and use it for some other kind of storage. It would be nice to store grain in wood. I think it helps to sweat the grain. Let's see. No change. No change. No change. That's 3 more jewels. And then we have to add some supporting documents. Okay, these are my inputs. 5 500, 501, 502, 503, 504, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there we go. Those are all current. Planned, yeah. Didn't use that. And oh, I didn't purchase that yet this year, but it's out in the compost pile. So, okay. Module 12. Records that we keep. Pretty much everything except compost records. Does your operation import seed? No. That's a new question. Brand name. Stephen Glenn Cattle. Kind of label. Non-retail. Bin or pallet tags. Non-retail bulk labeling. Burlap or large bags. Okay. Now new questions. So these are so technical. I could get into it, but don't need to. Okay. Update. Now, last module. And here's where I left to pull information from one of my other spreadsheets again. So this is from last year. And yeah, see here they have that same information again. Same. No, I guess that's gone. 23 crop. We don't have any alfalfa produced last year. But we did have, wait, there was a little alfalfa and weeds. Well, I guess you could call it wild plants. Okay. And that was 1,200 pounds per bale. And it was 135 bales, so 162,000 pounds. 162,000. Okay. None sold, and it's the home place feed rack, and I didn't really start feeding at that time. Okay, I think. So then, Snow White, I still have 6 bushels. And the turkey red. Man, I gotta go back and just pull from that other spreadsheet because I don't want to have to recalculate everything. So what I'm going to do is download it because I got to download it anyway for my biodynamic application later. So download. I've started out. Now, I'll go back to the C19 annual summary of organic production, sales, crop production. Here, here we go. Nope, still not working. Okay, now getting the PDF up. And we'll do 2025. Oh, I have to do plus and minus. That's why it's a bit different. Okay. Yeah, I'll just copy that. And hmm, yeah, if I go over my spreadsheet, it was about 50 bushels. Means I sold 2.7, 2025. Mm, okay, I'm just gonna recalculate. And 24 crop, 23, 180, 180, 180. Wait. Hmm. I don't remember having. Yeah, I don't remember. Mm, hmm. Well, anyway, it's all. It's all empty out of there. 23. This is in Big Ford. See. Okay. Um, that's different. Mm, well, this is where it gets a little tricky. Because I didn't sell all the difference. Planted some. So first, Dresden, I sold 2025, 181.67. 181.67 plus if I go to bin number man. 66.33, so 21.67 plus 66.33 equals 248. 48. And that the difference should be about 96 bushels. Oh, wait. Only 7 bushel different. Okay, it's gonna be a bit funky because we planted some difference. Yeah. And a good auditor would catch this. I'm just doing estimates of my harvest amount, and I planted some that we just estimated. So, yeah, we'll see if the inspector can catch something on me. Okay, and then we'll say 2016 up. Okay. When did you bushels? Bin 5. Bin 5. Been there so long. It's been there a decade. Wonder. I haven't even looked. Hey. All right. Excuse me. Oh, good questions. Questions. Let's see, we've got. Need to put in my supporting documents. So now for this year, it's field history. Mm, And I don't have current input applications in there. There might be something I have to redo if the reviewer catches it. Although, I actually didn't apply any inputs. That's right. Okay, new materials? I don't have new materials. Maybe it's okay. I don't have new fields, too. I did change the maps because different operator name now. And it's just slightly different. Okay. Oops. I guess they have a special spot for the overview map. Yeah. I might have to change those. Um, don't have that yet. None of that. No off-farm manure. No SSOP yet. Okay, now here's where I have a crop plan map that helps inspectors to see our fields, and it is current, so I'm gonna put it in there. I could do a whole stream on some of these documents. Okay. Submit. Submit. We appreciate power. Yep. Okay, now I'm just gonna download everything. Download. Come on down. So slow. Mm. 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 7 next. 8. Nine. And 11. 12. 19. And I'm getting sleepy. Myself to sleep. Talking about paperwork. Okay. And there's some kind of button somewhere. Well, okay, I need to re-edit this operator agreement. Did I change the name? No, I did not. Okay. So this is the contract actually with the OCIA. England, did they change anything? Hopefully you didn't hear that. Anyway, let's see. Um, Speed all the legalese. Yeah. Yep. 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 It's not like I'm reading this for the first time. This is not really new. Oops, my name. Not like anyone's watching though. Or you can only say this at this time. Actually, I just say man. Alrighty then. through what happened at Jim Carrey's face. Oh, excuse me. Okay, click your finalized submission. Okay. I sent that in the mail. Payment. Nothing going hard copy. And submit now. So, it did it in an hour and a half. That's pretty good, right? Yep. Even though I did some work ahead of time on spreadsheets, but that wasn't an extra, a lot extra. So you can see it could be a pretty complicated thing, but you can breeze through it when you get used to it. And it helps me to plan for the year. And I'm going to actually attach that in a new contract I'm trying to make with some neighbors. So when they actually sign the document, then we're ready to. Um, I will update the plan. And I might have a draft attached to the contract. So I might handwrite in some things, print all these out and handwrite in. Or, now that this has been submitted, I could edit them and print those out. I might do that after a while, but I'll give the staff ladies at OCI some time to do a pre-inspection review and let me know if there's anything that I need to update now, or I can't imagine there would be. This application has gone through before and I didn't change that much, but they might put some fresh eyes on it because I did update every single one of them, and it's like I'm tricking them. Hey, haha, yeah, I updated it, but no, it's just the dates changed. Okay, now if I have any energy left, I will play a game. Yeah. Hey, check this stuff out. These are my tabs for um my tabs for training people. Why don't we have enough organic farms? Why are they quitting? Or being lied to about organic food? Blah, 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 blah. Mm, I could do a whole analysis video on why she's wrong. Not really being lied to. It's just, it's a mind game a lot of times. Rhetoric. Do. Oops, I got the wrong user over here. Anyway. And then we've got something about regenerative farming. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's changed a year ago. Here's my entry survey for anyone who wants to sign up to work with me. I will train you on how to fill out organic system plans and how to start a career as an inspector or maybe something else. And then here's my workbook that I put together that you can use yourself, or I'll be your teacher. And I use government um, government website that has all kinds of courses to teach from. And I made some videos. Videos explaining some things, and I'm gonna make. And here's a database you can use to find organic food. Oops, it's broken right now. And here's Code of Federal Regulations. This is the actual organic rules. Wow. Look at that. So cool. Yay, organic food. Okay. Yep, that's my tabs for now. Level 1. If anyone wants to join me, continuing on, then we can get to level 2. But so far, we've just been doing level 1. People repeating the level until I get a group together. And, oops, I probably shouldn't stream that. Show my Facebook page for Midwest organic producers, but yeah, it's kind of to switch through from my feed to other things. And, you don't want to see all my friends and family. Do 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 do. Okay. Been a while since I played any games. I wonder. 8:30, and no one's talking in the chat. Don't have any new viewers, so we're gonna leave it at that. Until next time.